All right, welcome back to episode 21 of the Shift Points podcast. If you guys are seeing us for the first time, thank you so much for joining. If you've been here before, you're awesome because you came back, so that's really good. Episode 21. This is the Wood Brothers episode.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what we'll call it.
Or the Nate and Win.
Oh, that's true.
Episode.
The other brothers. The other brother. That's what we'll call you. The other brothers.
Yeah.
Racing. Yeah. So 21. What have you guys been into this week? I don't want to gibber too much.
The exact same thing as every other week.
Every week.
Yep.
Just work.
Working.
Don't you?
I did the same
Exactly
thing.
the same as working.
Your
You
son's
went to a couple
birthday.
car shows with us, or went to a car show with
The
us.
car show, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good car show up at Macedonia Church yesterday, and then a really good one last weekend out at Trinity. There was like 318 cars. It was a pretty big
wow,
show.
that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a big show.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah, it was a pretty big show, and they those guys and gals, they put that on. It's a lot of work. It was really hot,
Dang.
like really hot.
It was hot yesterday. You can tell.
It was
by
hotter.
my-
It was.
yeah.
It was
Red,
hotter.
red.
It was hotter last week.
How many cars
than
showed
yesterday.
up yesterday?
I think they said they had 90 some. It was
dang,
another
yeah,
decent. It was another decent sized one. I think that's what Dad said. I'll have to verify
I didn't realize
that.
there was that many. I figured there was a solid 50, but
No, there's a pile
Wow.
in there. You know, they had both rows, and they
Yeah.
had the two down the middle, all the way in the back, and then out front stuff too. So.
What was the nicest car that you saw there?
Our truck, of course. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. There was another like 50, probably a 53 truck like that had the different grill than this one. It was really nice. It was like a Jack Ingram copper color of Jack Ingram's cars.
Cool.
It was a nice truck. That was one of the nicest ones I saw there. I mean, there's always nice cars there.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff
Yeah.
Myers was there.
Make
He
you
had
sick,
his stuff, and Dwayne Taylor and all those guys were there. Everybody's got cool stuff. Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of neat stuff around here. So that was good, but it was a good show and everything.
Good.
I really like the unassuming Chevelle that pulled in next to us.
Yes. Oh, Bob Honigman's. Yeah.
Hood came up, and I was like expecting a dressed up 350 like everyone else. I didn't even look at the fender badges.
Yeah, it was
502.
502 crate motor.
502. I bet that thumps.
Yeah, it's a nice car. Bob's got some really nice cars. Yeah. I think he watches. I don't know if he watches the podcast, but he watches the regular videos. So
Nice.
very nice cars though.
Yeah.
And to get out of there, I had to get the Fairlane backed up and make this really tight turn, and I had to get painstakingly close to his car.
Oh, that's nice.
I was worried sick about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a guy backing me up, but my clutch work sometimes is shady, so I get a little nervous.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that's a 4-speed car.
Yeah,
I was
it
in the
is.
passenger seat, like
I was very nervous about it.
I
So,
would not like that.
but it was good.
Good.
It was good.
Yeah, nice.
So that was nice. That's what we've been doing, though. Man, a lot of work, though. Got to get the Galaxy going. Got to get the Galaxy going for the Southeast Gassers, September
Yeah.
9th. Don't forget.
Yep.
you'll forget.
You will forget. 100%.
You're gonna get
The
reminded.
week after. Let's see.
Yeah, not
Week
this.
after next.
2 weekends from now.
Not
Not this
next
coming weekend.
The
Two more
weekend
after that.
Yep.
September 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Cool. All
September,
right.
and then we're going to Bristol.
Yeah.
The
on
week
September
after
16th.
that. The weekend after.
Yep. Weekend after that. Going to
Yep.
Bristol. Night race.
We have some busy
Super
stuff
excited
going on.
about it. We
yeah,
have
that's
so
gonna be
much
good.
going on.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. I was trying to think what else. Oh, we're gonna go play golf this weekend, maybe.
I hope so. You
That'll
bringing
be
a
fun.
camera?
Yeah,
Bringing
of
a
course I'm
GoPro?
gonna bring a camera. I always bring cameras
Points
everywhere
goes
we go.
golfing.
Shift Points goes golfing. We're gonna do maybe some trivia or some
Yeah,
asking
trivia
some
would be
random
fun.
questions between holes. Or
That'd
maybe
be fun.
right while you're in your backswing, you have to swing and answer the question at the same time.
Dude, I don't need any more hindrance, man.
Okay, I'll let you go through your swing, but as soon as you make contact with the ball, you have to answer the question.
You're gonna
I
have to
don't
bleep
want
some
any
stuff
of my
out.
swings recorded.
All of your swings are getting recorded. Oh, man.
My handicap's a 50,
Really?
probably.
Mine's
I
whatever,
don't-
infinite.
I don't know what.
Do you know how hard it is to get your golf handicap? You have to play like a buttload of rounds and like all
Yeah.
this. Like there's so much to get
Yeah,
it
no idea what it
calculated. Yeah, there were some guys I used to work with that at one point were trying to get theirs figured out, and I was like, "This is going to take you guys 2 years. You do not play enough to get a handicap."
Yeah.
So,
Either.
all right, let's get on it before we get in
I
trouble
know
for gibbering.
people are gonna be. Yeah,
People are already gone.
they're gone.
They're gone. They don't want to
gone.
listen to us anymore. All right. I had a really nice question come in. Last week was another pretty good one. Logan came in, asked some good questions, I thought. I think he's going to try and come back ever so often. He's wanting to come in and maybe as he gets some questions about some different stuff, maybe he can come in and ask them and we can give our...
come next week, I think.
Oh, is he? Okay. So we'll see what he has to do there, what he has to say. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully he's got some questions we can give our expert opinion on. Just kidding. But the question that came in this week, we've been looking in the comments. So if you guys want a question answered on here, if you think that we are the people that should answer your question, which God help you, but that's okay. We're here to do that, and we're really excited to do it. But the guy that come in last week was Monty in-gumboots. That's his username on YouTube. Monty 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 in-gumboots. GOMBOOTS.
What are gum boots?
I don't know. Monty, tell us.
Sounds sticky.
Put it in the comments and tell us what gumboots are. I don't know. But he had a question that came in. Another one of our Australian people that has been watching us because of Mr. SVG and Mr. Kostecki.
Yep.
His question was, if we could bring the Supercars to the U.S., which I did get my SuperView subscription a couple days ago. I just haven't had time to watch anything because I've been so busy. So I know they raced this weekend, and I think Brodie won like both of them. He's really putting a stomping on them over there from what I understand. So he extended his points lead. Anyway, if we could pack up everybody and bring them to the United States and put them on a racetrack, doesn't have to be a NASCAR track or anything like that. It can just be a road course. It has to be a road course because they, according to Monty, they can't really handle the cambers and stuff. They need to run an oval. So we need to be on a road course. What road course in the United States is the one to put them on that would kind of showcase them, or what do you think would put on a really good show? Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
Jackson. Wynn got in the deer in the headlights look there.
So me and Jake talked about this the other day.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Was it yesterday? Wow. Time flies. I said Laguna Seca. Because it's just big enough. It's you can kind of have fun, but it's not too big. It gets boring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elevation change.
And plus you got the corkscrew.
Yeah, the corkscrew.
Period.
Yep.
It's only 11 turns, and there's a decent amount of straight in between each one.
I don't think I realized there was only 11 turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the corkscrew. That's
The corkscrew,
a good one.
that would be
That's a good one.
crazy to see those. Just from what I've watched those guys so far, like how hard they race, like they're so aggressive. Like they're pretty strict on penalties and stuff, but like just without running into each other, they're so aggressive. To see them come through that segment of track would be nuts. It would be crazy.
That's good.
So yeah, I like Laguna Seca. Where is Laguna Seca? Tell our viewers
Is
more
it
about
California?
it. Tell our viewers more about Laguna Seca.
It's California.
What else do you know about it? I don't care where it's at now. I already asked that question. God.
What else do you want?
Tell us when it was built. Tell me. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to tell me all
Wikipedia
that.
page.
I'm gonna have to get my phone out too. Man.
No, but Laguna Seca would be an awesome track. I don't. It's hard to argue that, to be honest with you.
Monterey County, California.
Monterey County,
Yeah.
County, California.
Built in 1957.
Wow, really?
There's been a lot of deaths there. I think.
It's a dangerous track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll Google that one.
How many? Oh, jeez.
That's dark. That's morbid. All right, why does Laguna Seca suck and yours is better?
What?
I'm just
Doesn't?
just
I mean,
kidding.
I like Sonoma.
Yeah,
Kind of for the same
Sonoma.
reason, for elevation changes is what I like about it.
Yeah, Sonoma would put on a good show.
And if I'm driving a road course on NASCAR, the game,
Yeah,
I
let's
like
go to
Watkins
Sonoma.
Glen a lot, but
Watkins
I like
Glen's
Sonoma.
my favorite racetrack.
Watkins Glen is, but I didn't want to choose Watkins Glen because NASCAR was just there, and I feel like
Yeah, it was a cop
like
out.
that's an yeah.
Especially
it is.
since you forgot
Totally
about
is.
this.
Well,
until we
but,
started the
you know,
podcast.
I know a little bit about some road courses. around.
You do. I'm just kidding.
There is a lot.
Whoa.
That many people.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah,
a long.
it didn't have a number,
list.
but there's a list.
Wow. That's a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
But, yep,
that's
yep.
a dangerous track.
Yep.
Luckily, the cars are a lot safer now than they used to be. That's for across all series, I think.
Hmm. Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Of course.
maybe not IndyCar. IndyCar's still sketchy. Those cars are super sketchy still.
Yeah, as we saw earlier. At
Yeah.
the 500.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Dude.
true. Yeah, the wheel tire coming off and
That
going
could
over
have
the
been
fence.
so
Need
bad.
to redact the
Scary.
previous statement. This says 1916.
When it was built.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Really?
So unsure as to the actual date.
Again,
1916
glad we got
versus
her.
55.
Well, the first
someone
race at
comment
Indy was
back.
raced in 1909, I think.
I think
So
it was.
That would make sense.
It was like
you know what the
single
first thing that
digits.
was ever raced at Indianapolis Motor Speedway was? I know this because of trivia on a little NASCAR game I used to have.
Does it have a motor?
Nope.
Oh,
Horse and carriage, I'm guessing.
Nope.
Foot race?
No.
Turtles.
Nope.
No.
Hot air balloons.
What?
Hot
I
air
bet that was
balloons.
riveting.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm not lying to you, but I remember that being a trivia question on one of those NASCAR games I had.
Would you rather watch that or NASCAR run at Richmond?
Oh God, I'd rather watch the hot air balloon.
No way.
I would. I'm telling you, I really, really hate that racetrack. I also would almost rather watch the hot air balloons than that race that we watched yesterday too.
Yeah,
So
that's what I heard.
we'll talk about that a little while afterwards. Though.
That's
I wanna check
crazy,
this.
though.
First automobile at the racetrack was in 1909.
Wow.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm not seeing my trivia. Just take my word for it.
That's crazy.
That's what was the first thing I was ever raced at.
Was it before 1909?
After a hot air balloon race in June and a motorcycle race in July, before the track was finished, the first automobile race was held on August 19th, 1909. So, yep, first race was a hot air balloon race.
That's
I wasn't
great.
lying to you. I thought I was lying.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Did not know that.
All right, my track. I thought about this a little bit. I like you. Sonoma. I didn't think about Sonoma, but Watkins Glen. It was actually in his comment. It was the one that he mentioned as well. Watkins Glen. So I'm glad you didn't pick that one. I think where I would go is VIR in Virginia. A couple of
Nationwide
reasons.
Xfinity goes there, right?
No,
They don't?
No. That none of the Cup guys or none of the NASCAR guys race there. But that track is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a super world class facility. It has one extremely long straightaway that I think would get to showcase like kind of the power that those guys have. I want to pull this up just so I can show you that straightaway because it is crazy how big it is. Because I didn't even realize it until I saw the overview of it here. But yeah, there you go.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so it's a big track. So they could show off their top speeds and stuff while it's also a pretty intricate track. There's not a ton of elevation change. The full course is 3.27 miles, and that was in a Formula One car in 2004. So it's been a minute since they've set the top time on it. But VR is a really nice place. And the other reason behind that is I think you would put them like in a racing hub like Virginia. I mean, of course, California is big as well. Don't get me wrong. And for both of you guys, California.
But out here in the South.
But I like, I like racing in the South kind of. So Virginia is kind of the South without really fully being in the South. Mm-hmm. So I think you would pull a big crowd from a lot of different places. Yeah. All the people that love racing in New York would come down. All the people in the South would come up because I do believe that Australians are just Southerners. Like they're just us. That's my guess. From what I've seen, that their personality-wise, they're a lot like the South in the U.S. Personally, think that. So I think that would draw a big crowd, and there would be one heck of a party that went on there during that event.
We still want invitations to Australia,
like
paid for
in a couple weeks. If someone is looking to send us, I will fly instead of going to the Geysers event. We'll fly to Australia, Bathurst.
Yes, we will.
Sorry, Randy, but that sounds like a ton of fun to go to Bathurst. Like so that is coming up in a couple weeks. We are going to do our absolute best to watch that race together. I don't know what else is going to be happening and what's going on, but hopefully maybe Sunday we can get together and watch it because we can watch it on demand. We can watch it whenever on Sunday. Sweet. But that would be super cool to sit down and watch that, at least a good chunk of it, and kind of see how it goes. That racetrack is ludicrous. It's so scary. Like those guys going downhill, the way they do there at full speed. Yeah, it's really scary. Yeah, I don't know why anyone would do that. So good on them for doing it for 1,000 kilometers. Ugh. Yeah. Anyway, so thanks, Monty and Gumboots. We appreciate your question. If you have any more, drop them in the comments. Anybody else that would like to have a question answered, doesn't have to be about Supercars, can be about anything. Anything. We'll give you life advice if you want us to. I mean, you don't want it. You don't want it.
Wrong people for that.
You don't want it, but we'll give it. So thank you very much for that question. And we'll try and kick off every week with a question like that if we can. And if you guys don't put one in the comments, I'll just make one up. That's what I've been doing before this. So thanks everyone that's put in questions in the comments. Watkins Glenn. Anything?
No.
That's how you feel about it. That's how we all feel about it. All right, this was a short one this week. 15 minutes. That's all we get out of this podcast.
Maybe we'll have 100%
What a
retention
bummer,
rate.
man.
Let's start this. Let me start with this stat. The caution that came out roughly halfway to 3/4 of the way through that race ended if you count the end of the Indy Road Course and the beginning of this race, 3 hours and 4 minutes of consecutive green flag racing in the Cup Series.
Wow, that's crazy.
3 hours. That's almost a race. That's
on
almost
road
a whole
courses.
race of green flag racing. I mean, it is.
It is a whole
basically.
race.
They only raced 2 laps at Indy before they went green the rest of the time. So they've more than a race of time.
Yeah. That's
under
crazy.
completely green
on road
flag
courses.
And I'm not looking. I mean, I think someone put in the comments last week. Someone dropped it. I think they deleted it, but something about how we only think that it's good racing if it's aggressive or there's a lot of crashes. No, that is not true. I will refute that completely. I do not like to see torn up race cars. Now, I like to see hard racing. I want to see guys use the bumper. I want to see guys that are making moves. I like to see passing in a race because that's kind of what a race is.
Exactly.
And man, there wasn't a whole lot of it yesterday. I'll be honest with you. 3 hours and 4 minutes. Consecutive green flag racing. Why? Why is this the case? Are these cars that aerodynamically
challenge?
Not challenged. Are they that much in a box? If you are behind the car in front of you, you have no chance of getting by them. Like you have to be, I think Denny Hamlin said at one point, you have to be like 0.8 of a second a lap. This was probably on an oval, by the way, probably not on a road course. 0.8 of a lap faster than the guy in front of you to even have a chance to get past him.
That much?
You have to be almost, I mean, that's almost a second. 0.8 of a second. You have to be faster than the guy in front of you to make the pass.
That is crazy.
That's wild, isn't it? I don't get it.
A couple tenths sounds.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, because I mean, you see that all the time in the Cup Series now. These guys will make up a whole straightaway on you.
Yeah.
They'll get right up to it, and then you just can't pass. You're
Yep.
stuck. You're
Right.
stuck.
Yep.
And that's exactly what yesterday looked like. William Byron pulled out 10 cars or whatever there on that last. If we kind of go off the last fuel run, about 10 to 12 cars, and just kept it. And then Denny was running second, and he had a train of cars behind him. They couldn't get past him, and they just snaked their way through for like 50 laps.
Wow, that sounds awful.
It was really boring. And I even went back because I didn't get there in time to start it because I was at the car show. I started it from the beginning, and I watched every lap. And I even knew who won the race. That's how devoted I am to this podcast. I accidentally flipped on social media while I was like 20 laps into the race, and I saw who won, and I was like,
and you still watched.
Dang it.
Even though.
Yep.
Good on you, man.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm devoted here.
I mean, you are.
It's for the fans.
I had a question, but I've lost it. Darn it.
We'll find it.
That's such a bummer. And I love Watkins Glen.
It blows my mind that we would take a car, solid axle car, regular H-pattern gearbox, and put on absolutely amazing road course races. I showed Jackson. What did you think of the finish with Brad and Kyle and Marcus?
There's a lot going on
So
there.
There was a lot, and that was in
feet.
one lap. That was the very last lap. They had raced hard up to that point too.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time Jackson had got to see it. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out that.
So good.
I think it was 2012 because Brad was still in the Dodge, so that was his championship year. Him, Kyle Busch, Marcus Ambrose.
So good. Like you
So
couldn't
good.
sit down.
No, exactly. Even now, I've seen that replay a million times,
yeah.
and I still get excited to watch it.
So good.
Yeah, it's so good. So we did that. Now we build basically a road course car, independent rear suspension, a transaxle. It's got a sequential gearbox. This thing is a sports car, basically.
Right.
I know it's not exactly a sports car, but it's basically a sports car that they've put a NASCAR body on, and they've sent it onto a road course, and we've produced the worst road course races ever.
You think they're going to fix that just because
They're going to
of
have
this?
to do something. You can't have 3 hours of green flag
No.
running.
No.
Like 3 hours. Not, and
not.
I would say bring back the stages, but that's not going to help it. Okay, you have a restart. Okay, fine. You have 2 restarts, but 2 laps after the restart, you're back single file, back to not passing. It's not going to matter.
Right.
Like it would not have mattered other than there just being 2 guaranteed breaks, a chance to shuffle it up. If someone had a pit penalty, they would have went to the tail end of the longest line instead of just losing. Like when McDowell run through the 4 pit boxes, he had that penalty. He had to serve it a drive-through penalty, which would under green flag conditions was a lot less than like Kyle had a penalty under caution, and he had to go tail end of the longest line. So Michael's ended up not being as big a penalty as Kyle's just because of the green flag versus caution. But that was it. I mean, it was just...
What a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. It's really sad. I don't know. I don't get it at all.
Did Xfinity run there?
Yes. Yeah, let's talk about Xfinity. So I didn't actually get to watch it again. I was doing stuff on Saturday too. It's been a crazy couple weeks. Xfinity race was from what I understand was pretty good. Apparently Ty Gibbs makes a pretty big move on Sam Mayer with like on the second to last restart. And they came over Sam's radio and they basically like get him. I mean, you know, they didn't say exactly that, but they kind of inferred that Sam should do something about the 19. And then Jackson started to cry because his favorite driver, Ty Gibbs, got absolutely destroyed going into turn one. Mayer just sent it. There was nothing about him that was going to make that corner. He runs in the back of him, spins Ty out, goes on and wins the race.
On the last lap?
It was an overtime restart.
Back and watch it.
Yeah, it was an overtime restart. It's good. It's really
watched
good.
it over Jake's shoulder, and my actions, we won't repeat them because they're not family friendly, but they were from the purest place of joy.
He basically just cackled like a madman. No, it's funny. But then Ty gets out and they ask him about it, and he says, "Well, I'm racing on Sundays, and I was going for my 15th win or whatever it was, and good on him for getting his second, I guess." And I was like, I mean, that's fair. It's a pretty good burn.
Yeah,
I mean, he has a point. But Sam Mayer should have said, "But my papa didn't buy my ride."
Yeah, that's
so.
fair, yeah.
I mean, there's your rebuttal. I think.
Yeah.
Kid's good though. Don't get me wrong.
Sam?
I mean, Sam's okay. Sam has not proved himself like I think he should have in the past couple seasons. He should have. I think he should have had at least 5 or 6 wins. You know, in his time in that car, because especially last year, because they were really good last year. Yeah. The JR Junior Motorsports cars were really good last year. He should have got at least a couple wins last year, and he was never able to put it together. He's rocked off 2 this season, so I think he's safe for a little while. But he had to be getting nervous. Like he was gonna, they were gonna start looking at putting someone else in that seat if he hadn't picked it up. So 2 wins, so good on him for that. But I'm talking about Ty. I don't like the guy, but I mean he was running like 4th all day yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean he had a really good run. He's only had 1 top 5. This season, other than I think he finished in the top 5 yesterday. I had to check that.
I think he's 4th or 5th.
So it's his second top 5 in a season, in basically a new car. He ran some races last year, but he didn't run a full season. So I mean, he's getting better, and he's a heck of a road course racer. I mean, he won that first race he ever entered in the Xfinity Series at Daytona on the road course. So I mean, he's a good race car driver. I don't like him. I don't like his personality. We just don't mesh, but I don't think we would mesh at least. Because the problem that I have with Ty is that I think that he is fake. I think the person you see on camera is not the person that you would see if you like met him at the bar and was like, "Hey, let's have a drink." I don't think they're the same person. Could be wrong, but I do believe when they put him on a camera, he has been completely trained to say exactly what he's supposed to say.
Probably.
And then outside of that, he's different. Maybe not. I hope not. I would like to see his personality come out. I'd like to see all these drivers' personalities come out, but we don't live in that world right now. So yeah, Xfinity race. At least the end was pretty funny. I didn't get to watch the whole race though. I need to watch the race. But then Cup race. The only other thing that I want to talk about, other than William Byron being the first guy this season to rock off 5 wins.
That's crazy.
5 wins. I need to go back and listen. We called a couple of drivers out that said at the very first podcast that we said we think could win 5. I know Kyle Busch was one of them.
Definitely not.
But I don't think we picked William Byron.
I don't think so.
But the only reason we might have picked him is we started the podcast a few races after the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And he had shown some speed. So maybe we did, but let me go back and check that because I'm curious. But we did say Kyle Busch, and he's won 3.
3, right? Yeah.
He's got to get 2 more before the end of the season for us to say that we're experts.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do, to say that we're experts. If we call
I wonder
that.
who else we chose.
I don't know. I'll go back and listen. But yeah, so he gets his 5th win in dominating fashion. He led a bunch of laps yesterday. A bunch. The other thing that I think is funny is when Kyle Larson loses his temper, it's hilarious. Did you see this? You didn't see this with the 3? No. On the very last lap, 2 or 3 turns, I guess it was the left-hander before the steep right-hander to go down the straightaway.
Yeah.
moves Larson kind of up the track. The 3 does. Dylan moves the moves the 5 up the track a little. There had to have been some more contact at some point in the lap previous, but the only thing I saw was this. He moves Larson up. He doesn't wreck him. He just moves him way out. Larson goes wide, and he goes into the last corner. And Larson had already had a bad day. He hadn't been running super well, and then he has a pit penalty, puts him way back. I mean, way back. So he's just digging to try and make as many points up as he can. He just goes in the last turn, not going to make it, doesn't care, just sends it and just spins both of them out. And then he's crab walking down the front straightaway like this, just trying to finish the race, and the 3 can't get it refired. He had to finish way down, though. When Kyle Larson, to be like this world-class race car driver and be really, really good, when he loses his temper, he does stupid things. Like this was blatant. When he wrecked Justin Haley at the Coliseum last year. Do you remember that? Haley kind of moves him a little, and Kyle just, on the straightaway, just chops him. It just comes down and wrecks him, runs him into the inside wall.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, so he does that, and I was trying to think. There's another example that I had about this. But anyway, he kind of loses it. It's really funny because, like, it's so, again, out of character. He doesn't show his personality. No. He's a really quiet guy. He gets run over by Denny, and that's the most we ever saw of his personality is when he got wrecked at Pocono.
Yeah.
And he's just on, and an interview went on for like 10 minutes, him talking about that. It's the most personality we've seen out of him probably ever. But then when he's in the race car and something bad happens, he's like, oh, I'm just going to wreck you. He just tears them up. But I don't feel that that's not from the dirt cars. I mean, you can't just send it in and wreck somebody in those dirt cars, especially in like the sprints and stuff. I mean, no fenders.
Oh, I know.
Which is what he's raced forever. I mean, you can't do that. So I'm curious if he's just like, this has to just be something he's picked up over his years in NASCAR, you know?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I thought that was really funny.
Doesn't happen too often.
Imagine, I mean, the other thing that I have to think about is like, it's Kyle Larson racing for like 22nd with the 3 car.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
It's like,
He's
come
way
on.
back.
I mean, I know you're mad. I know you've had a bad day, but like, I mean, you're going to lose one position. I mean, it's not going to make that big a difference, really.
Right.
So just remember who you're racing. Does Austin Dillon get kicked out of his ride?
Yeah, why not?
Because his granddad owns the race team.
I know. I feel like that's a reason.
So that's
why
my
he hasn't.
question. That's my question. Is like, does he
because of his family heritage?
Can he even get kicked out?
Oh, well, probably not because of that. Or should he? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking, can he?
Oh, probably.
Do you think that Richard Childress comes out and says,
no,
Austin, my boy, I'm proud of you, but you are dog crap?
I doubt that.
Yeah, me
but
too.
Should he? Yeah, I think
it hasn't been going well. And then he was apparently he was a big advocate to get Kyle Busch to come, and that was a bad idea. Because it turns out Kyle Busch is a really good race car driver.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really makes Austin look even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Reddick was a really good race car driver.
Yes, he was.
And he still is. He still is a good race car driver. Man, those guys got to get it put together, by the way. The 45 team have been terrible. Terrible. They just can't put a race together.
Kurt Busch back in there.
Reddick's good. It's just they just can't execute. They have bad pit stops and all this different stuff. But anyway, the Dillon, I don't know who you put in the car. I think Austin Hill is your guy. He's the RCR guy. It looks like he has he signed a deal this week. He's going to be back in that Xfinity car next year. But I saw it was I don't know if the Xfinity deal was a multi-year deal or if his like RCR contract was a multi-year deal. But he's definitely back in that 21 car next year, of course, because he's won like 4 or 5 races this year. He's been really good. I guess he's your guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
But you have to like, you can't come out and be like, because of your poor performance, you're getting out, Austin. Like they're gonna have to move him into like a management position in the team, and then
Austin
be like,
Dillon?
yeah. I mean, you'd have to like save face. You have to be like, we're going to just move you into management in the race team. We think you'd be really good at like driver development or something, which he wouldn't be.
He wouldn't be.
He wouldn't be, but it would at least give him a title and then let someone come into that 3 car.
That'd be
and
nice.
also get rid of the 3 car.
Though.
Put the 21 car out there.
Oh, yeah.
Or not 21, that's the Wood Brothers, but pick a different RCR number that they own. I don't know which ones they own. 31?
Nope. 33.
That's a Haley
33.
Car. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 33. Yeah, that's the old
Bring
Clint
the
Boyer.
07 back.
Oh, the 07. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Put the Jack Daniels back on it.
That'd be sweet.
That would be kind of sweet. Yeah. They can't have alcohol sponsors. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they
Yeah,
can have
can?
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking smoking. Nicotine sponsors.
No, they
can't
can't
have those.
that anymore.
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, that was that Watkins Glen snooze fest, but there's some interesting stuff coming out of that. Daytona, Brad K and Kevin Harvick locked themselves in on points to the playoffs.
Sweet.
They are guaranteed to move on to the playoffs. There's one spot left. It's Jackson's second favorite driver, Bubba Wallace, sitting there at like 23 or so
Lies.
points to the good.
Lies.
23 points to the good, I think. I would not want to be him this week,
Oh, yeah,
getting ready for
stressful.
Daytona. The only good thing is that Bubba's really good at plate tracks.
Yes, I know. I was gonna
So like,
say. I mean, he
unless I guess the only way he gets any sleep this week is that he says, "I'm going to go out and I'm going to do my best to lead every lap and win the race." That's that has to be the only attitude he has. Or does he point race? Because he's 23 points to the good. But if he gets wrecked early, whoever's in that 16th or 17th position could easily take up 20 points. I don't know what you do. I think Bubba, from what we've seen him do in the past, it would be better for him to be on the offensive and tell him to go lead every lap and try and win the race. I think you're going to maximize points and I think you're going to maximize points, and I think that you're going to have a chance to win the race to lock in on a race. So
Deutsche Tech is calling.
Deutsche Tech, good on them. Good Lord. All right, 32 minutes. I need to cut some stuff out there.
So then we're going to Daytona.
So we're going to Daytona. So picks this past week. Want to pull them up so I make sure I get the positions and everything. Toby won with Kyle Busch. He wasn't here, so he doesn't count. Win wins with Brad K in 15th. 15th. We had terrible picks. this
Yeah,
week. The best
surprising.
The best pick we had was 14th. Toby had Busch at 14th. You had Brad at 15th. Logan, with his bonus pick here, was Larson in 26th. Jackson with Elliott in 32nd. Let's talk about the 9 real quick. Good Lord, those guys cannot get
They
it
can't.
together.
They didn't
They're
make it, right?
broken. What do you mean? they
There's
didn't
no
make
way of him.
it? He has to win.
He has to
He
win.
has to win Daytona to get in.
He does?
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty much, even going into Watkins Glen, they kind of knew that. But, like, he has to win at Daytona to get in. But it would just be a wasted playoff spot. There's no reason for him to be in there, you know?
Right.
So 32nd, they ran out of gas. And the crew chief said it was bad information on his side. He thought he could make it. He thought that when he flipped the switch, he could make 3 laps. And he could only make 2. So, Michael McDowell, 36th. He was running in the top 10 all day until he either blew a motor or ECU, or it was some sort of electronics or ignition problem. So, I would have won, but I didn't. Who's your picks?
Who picks first?
I do.
You were Jackson.
Dang.
You
It's me.
lost the worst.
I did. I finished dead last. Daytona pick. Jake. I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski.
Nice. It's a good pick.
I want him to win a race so bad. So bad. All right, who is next?
I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick.
It's a good pick.
I'm going with Joey.
Joey, a very good pick there. Jackson had Harvick. Sorry, it takes me a second to type this stuff. Jackson had Harvick. Wynn had who?
Logano.
Logano. Those are solid picks. I would be okay with any one of those 3 winning the race, to be honest with you. But I want Brad K to win so bad.
That would be sweet.
Because he's pointed his way in. That's pretty good on Roush RFK. Got both cars in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That I don't think I would have called that at the beginning of the season.
I think he'll win a race sometime in the next, if not this year, next season.
Yeah, I think he gets one this year. I think they have the speed. He's been running that top 5 or so like every week,
Yeah.
and you do that
Good to
enough.
see you, man.
You do that enough, you'll
I do miss
luck
seeing
into
him
one.
up front.
I do too.
I've never really had
He's a
anything
dude.
against.
He's a goofy looking dude. You know
Oh
that?
my
I saw his announcement pictures for their son. They're having a son, and I was like, Brad,
Dude.
looking little off, man.
Oh, and his animation. The animation.
Open
I would
box.
make them change. I'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're changing this.
Yeah, the superhero thing doesn't fit Brad
His
very
profile
good.
picture has always been so bad. I would make them change it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd call him, be like, I'll pay it. I'll pay
yeah,
for someone else to draw me. All right, that was basically this.
Looks like Helen Keller drew.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
So bad.
It's like they did a character, but they never saw him. They're like, do your best guess about someone named Brad Keselowski. They're like, all right.
That's what they drew.
With a name like Keselowski, it's probably going to be a little off.
That's mean, isn't it?
It is. I shouldn't say that. I think the world of the guy. I think
do
he's
too.
also.
I
I
like
think
him,
he's
but-
probably the hardest working dude in the garage.
Yeah.
Because he owns a manufacturing business on top of being a team owner at RFK, on top of being a driver.
Yeah.
That dude works all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, it's wild. So, all right. F1. They're almost off of summer break. Finally.
Must be so
Back
nice.
back next.
3 weeks off. Good on them, though. Do you guys want to make a call on how much Max wins by? Should that be your new
He's
bet?
not gonna win.
11 seconds.
11?
He's gonna break something.
You think so?
Yep, he's not gonna win.
Don't you put that evil in the world. Take that back.
Red Bull Racing is not gonna win this.
This
next
is his
race.
home track.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying. I'm just reminding you, like,
Tears.
this is his home track. He's gonna. They're not cheaters.
No, I said tears.
Oh,
For all the locals there.
Max
If
winner.
he's gonna break something.
It's just like I really don't like the Dutch.
All right, Max winner.
I don't have anything against him at all.
What's
but
that margin? Max winner margin.
it would be bigger news if he did not win
Oh, it would be.
than if he did.
It would be. It would just be. It'd be very interesting to see what the story was that caused him not to win.
He could probably crash, get on a foot, and run the
Yeah.
race.
Jackson
Somehow would win.
said
Get in a
11
go-kart and he'd win.
seconds. Win said DNF. I'm gonna say it's a fairly small track, but I think he's gonna put.
I want everyone in the
I wanna
world
say
to blame
20
Win
seconds.
How
if
much?
he
20?
loses.
I'm gonna say
20
20 seconds. It's a pretty small track, but I think he can do it.
I'm gonna say Red Bull Racing does not win. It's gonna be Alpine. I'm just kidding.
Alpine, don't pick
kidding.
Alpine. Come on,
Alpine
Let's go.
would
That,
have
that's
to
a,
go. Alpine
that
would
team's a
have to
disaster
really
right
go.
now. It's ugly.
I
I
was
don't
just
even know what
kidding.
else going on there.
I don't even keep up with it much.
I
and
think
knew that.
if someone doesn't win, if Red Bull doesn't win, it's probably McLaren or Mercedes that wins. Oh my gosh.
Twitch Tech again? It is. It's Twitch Tech again.
Who
Maybe they
is
want
that?
to. Maybe they want to give you free stuff.
No, they don't.
You sure?
Yes. Dad called to order shocks today.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Super annoying.
Thanks,
All right.
Mike.
Yeah, come on, Dad.
Why are they
I'm gonna
calling
cut some of
back?
this stuff out.
Oh, maybe it's 6 o'clock.
Well, they're in Texas.
Why are they calling back at 5 o'clock?
All right. Anything else? I feel like I'm missing something this week. There was something I wanted
There's
to bring
not
up.
much there.
No, it's not. That's pretty much it. We didn't go racing. Southeast Gassers, September 9th, Knoxville. We are going to be there, hopefully in a big red Galaxy. I hope. I'm still
That'd be
hoping
so
that's going to
cool.
be the thing.
Yeah,
We're going to drive it
that'd
down
It'd
there.
be
so
great
cool.
if we could get on the ground.
Yeah, I think we can. I think we can do that. Like I said, I'm going to bust my butt this week to try and get it at least started and the biggest majority of it. done
Everything's
this week.
here, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's here. Yeah.
You need some help?
I don't know. Let's see.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Win said it's really
I
hot.
can-
I'll take the week off work.
No, I was just thinking I could call someone.
Oh, no, I think we're okay. I think
don't
me and
want
Dad
me
will
to
have
help.
it. I think me and Dad will have it.
He's called Nate. Here, Nate.
You don't want me to help him. That's for sure.
So hopefully we're going there. Eugene, I think, told me that he's going to be racing at Tri-County on September 2nd. I don't know if that's in the limited car or the late model. I'm guessing the late model. And also the next Southeast Super Truck event is also on September 9th. It's at Lonesome Pine in Coburn, Virginia. So there's plenty of racing coming. Man, the season's winding down, man.
It is.
We're almost to September.
There's
Isn't
only a
that
few left.
crazy?
Yeah.
Almost to September. I cannot believe it.
We can go
So,
to
yeah.
the dirt track. They stay open later.
Nah, it's okay.
Why?
I just
Just those
don't,
dirt
I don't
racers,
like
they-
dirt
they-
track, and
they
they race
crank
at
up at
3 in the
midnight.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Good
There
lord,
it
they
is.
race
Crazy.
some crazy hours. No,
More power to
Yeah.
you, dirt track guys.
I mean,
but
I'm glad if you like it. It's awesome, but I just can't do it. I don't like to take my really nice stuff and dump it in the mud.
Yeah. I'm out. Yeah.
Like
That's true.
we have some friends that race dirt down in Greensboro. They've got they race like micros, or I guess that's what they're called. If you guys are listening, I'm sorry, Michelle and Steve. I don't remember what your class is.
Yeah.
But it's open wheel sprints, and they race dirt. And I'm like, it takes them like all the next morning. They have to like wash everything before they can even start. And I was like, ugh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, that sounds brutal.
We should have Neil and Nolan on sometime. I think they would like that. They're pretty. They're interesting dudes. They're really young, and Neil is a heck of a racer, and Nolan is a smart kid who's setting up the car and stuff. Oh no, they're older than that. But like, I guess Nolan's like 22 or so, and then Neil's a little younger than him. Like he's kind of finishing up high school. Maybe he's about to start into some college.
Nice.
So they're pretty young, but man, they're racers.
We're getting old.
We are getting a little old. It's okay.
Yeah, you are.
Your birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Jackson.
Tomorrow.
27?
So when this comes out,
27 years old.
when this comes out, it'll be Jackson's birthday. I know there's
27.
literally no one.
Paul Menard was 27 for RCR.
27. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one still here, but
Yeah, anyone that's still here
Diana's still here.
tomorrow, tomorrow when this comes out. So when you're listening to this, it's Jackson's birthday. Happy birthday, Jackson.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I think we've answered everyone's questions. Like I said, no one's still listening, so that's okay. Anything else? Are you happy?
Oh, yeah. Shoot, yeah. I mean, it's happy
Hopefully,
as I can
you'll
be.
have Shift Points podcast goes golfing this weekend.
Oh, man. we
Episode
gotta
that
make
would be awesome.
happen.
And if it does, I'll let you know in the next podcast. Jackson, all good? Good. Thanks everyone for joining. Make sure to follow us on social media and hit that subscribe button right now as we sit. I want to pull it up real quick because I don't know if we went up. We're sitting at 749 subscribers. We're 3/4 of the way where we
I
want
need
to
to
be at
subscribe.
1,000.
I'm just kidding.
We're so close. Hit the subscribe button. Really, 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 really important. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.